So 1, 2, 3, we've got the ear there and the eye there. And sinuses we've just done. That takes us back to the brain. So this is, you're working the spine and the various vertebrae. And then you've got the sciatic nerve coming across here as well. The pelvis and buttock area here and here. And as I said, if you've got a reference point that you're using to have to one side, and that's really helpful. So we've got the brain here, we've got the side of the neck, we've got the eyes and the ears there, we've got the sinuses. I'm going to be looking at the reflex areas of the feet, and to make it easier to identify each of the reflex points, I'm going to use a reference manual, which is very helpfully coloured visually to cover each of the reflex points that you would work on once you relearnt your treatment and your movements in reflex. And what I've got is some coloured marker pens, and I'm hoping to replicate what is in the reference manual. So to start with, I'm just going to cleanse the feet with a wipe, just to make sure that they're hygienically clean. So just to make sure that we've got rid of any dirt. On there. Also do that on this side. So anywhere your hands are going to go, and obviously I've washed my hands before the session started so that they're nice and hygienically clean as well. Okay, we'll just wait a little bit, make sure that that dampness has gone. Just check the feet. Right, and then what I'm going to do is start on this left plantar view. So I'm just going to put that to one side so that we've got a clear view here. And I'm going to use the big toe, the top of the big toe, as my reference point. So we're going to start with the brain, and we're going to use this blue colour. And the brain is on the top of those 3 toes. Actually, while we're here and we've got the blue out, I think what we'll do is we will colour in the spine, which they've got in the same colour, so I will do similar. And that you would work all the way down, going on from the big toe to the bottom of the foot here. So that's working up the spinal area there. And as they've got it in blue here, I will follow that. They've got towards the bottom here the sciatic nerve. So colour that in as well. Okay, so that's the sciatic nerve done there. So we'll go back up to the big toe and we'll do the pituitary gland, which is literally just a dot there. and underneath, sorry, no, that is the hypothalamus, and then underneath that is the pituitary, just there. And then we've got the nose on the edge there, and obviously if it's not highly visible on this foot, we're going to move to the other foot at some point and it will be a bit clearer. So throat there as well. And we'll start going round. So we've done the brain. What we need to do is the side of the neck. Which is under here. There we go. Under the top of the big toe and on the side of the big one. The next one. And you would need to go in with one of your reflex techniques and do that. I might actually go over that in an orange. The yellow, let's try the orange. Yeah, the orange will stand out a bit more. So that yellow is very dull on there. Okay, so that's the side of the neck on this side of each of those toes. Then we've got the eye on this second toe here. That works. And the ear on the next one. And actually, while we're here, we'll do the sinuses, which are in each of these toes. Yeah, because you would just walk your way along those. Then actually we'll use a different colour because we know that yellow is not going to work, to do the shoulder area. So we've got the shoulder, and then at the bottom of the shoulder area there is the armpit, the axilla, just here. So that's the shoulder area there. And then next, across there, let's do that in a pink, I think. We've got the diaphragm, which we can use as a reference point across that. Then we've got, coming down, we've got the spleen, which I'm going to do slightly green underneath that shoulder. We've got the spleen area to about halfway there. Then we've got, let's have a look what we're going to do next. Let's get this colon in, I think. So the colon is quite a big one. So we've got the transverse colon here. Then we've got the descending colon. Then the sigmoid colon, which goes under the sciatic nerve that we've put there, and then back up over here. Then inside of that we've got the small intestine. then we've done the spine there, so let's go. We know the yellow doesn't work, so we're not going to use that. Let's try a green, I think. So the next one up is actually that pelvis area. And then squeezed in here is the buttock area of the pelvic area. That works. Then let's use a dark blue, I think, to do the rectum and bladder, which comes at the end of the sigmoid colon. So that's over here. That's right. And then you've got the bladder and rectum there. You've got the ureter tubes going up. And then let's try and do a little blob for a kidney shape there. Okay. And then around the kidneys, so behind the kidneys, you've got that stomach area, so that side, and this side here going up is the stomach area. Now what, I think I missed something else out there, which is the pancreas. Yeah, so that's that side of the kidneys, and going into here is the pancreas. Yeah, and that little blob there is the adrenals. Okay, so just above the kidneys you've got the adrenals there. Then behind that you have got the liver area. Just covering that. We've still got the diaphragm there. Then we have the heart. So going from the diaphragm round. There we go. And inside, just the other side of the heart there, is the thymus. So we've already done the spine there. So let's have a look. Neck and thyroid. We've got along here. Up to the shoulders there. And actually the one area that ironically I can't find on this, but I know what it is, which is the lung area. Obviously it's on the other side of the heart there. It's that huge area, taking it down to the diaphragm line. And that's the lungs. Now there's just a couple that I've missed just at the top. So we did the neck and thyroid. Oh no, we have. We've got the throat and the nose there, the pituitary gland there, and the hypothalamus there. So we have actually done all of that. That's amazing. Okay. So we've done the plantar view on this left side, so we're actually going to go to the right side now. Okay. I'm not even going to attempt to do the same colouring, so it's whatever works. So we're going to start with the top. Let's see if we can actually draw these areas just so that they're colourful, that you can see them. Well, that one works nicely actually. So brain at the top that you would work on. Then you'd push in for the hypothalamus there, the pituitary gland there. Then we've got the nose here and the throat on the side that you would work on. And actually, let's just go back to that blue and do the spine, going all the way down from the brain. This is probably what you couldn't see clearly on the other side, and I'm using the darker blue so it shows up more. So this is, you're working the spine and the various vertebrae. And then you've got the sciatic nerve coming across here as well. These are good markers to have. And actually, while we're here, I'm going to do the other main marker, because if you get lost when you're doing a treatment, you need some key things to think about. And I always use the brain, the neck and thyroid, which we'll come to, but the sciatic nerve here, and also the diaphragm, which is a good one to locate early on. Just helps you overall. Right, coming down a little bit further, we've got the thymus here. And then we actually have the heart. The majority of the heart is on the other foot. So you've only got a bit of it here. So a much bigger part of it is on the left foot, because obviously the heart is not in the middle. We've done the diaphragm line. So now what we're going to do is that huge area of the liver on this side. Where are we? Going down under that diaphragm line, round about there, so that the kidneys can go into it. So that's the liver area. Okay, and then within that liver area over here is the gallbladder. Okay, so the next area, let's have a look where that is. That little green area there is the adrenal glands. So let's start that there. No, the light, sorry, I'm going to change that because the light green is not coming out on top of the brown I've got there. So there we go. Let's do that. And actually, let's just use the same colour to carry on. So we've got the kidneys. You can't draw a kidney shape with these pens, I'm afraid. So that round blob there is the kidneys. And you've got the pancreas next to it there. Then you're coming down the ureter tube and then leading into the bladder and rectum at the bottom there. Then we've got the pelvis and buttock area here and here. And the pelvis at the very bottom here as well. Right, now we're going to, I wonder if the purple will come out. Got our iliocacial valve. Yep, just above that pelvic area there. Let's see if our darker colour will come out here to create the colon. So you've got the ascending colon and then the transverse colon going in just behind the kidneys there. And then when you work this area, you would work the colon onto the other side. And we have just missed out the intestines, which are just, and actually it's the small intestines just in that area. Yeah, I think I've made the spleen slightly big there, but we know that the small intestine comes underneath the transverse colon, which I've put there, as long as we're aware of that. We've got the gallbladder in there already, I did that earlier. Then we've got, coming up on this side, the armpit, the axilla, which is the armpit, and then going into the shoulder here. And then I think we'll try one of these greens, might work. We've got the sinuses on each of these toes. And then let's see if this light blue will work for the ears and eyes. So 1, 2, 3, we've got the ear there and the eye there. And sinuses we've just done. That takes us back to the brain. And then there's one large area still to do, which is the lungs. Actually, there is one more area as well. So we've got the lungs there. And then I think this is the last one, which somehow we missed going round, which is the neck and thyroid, which is just the base of these 3 toes. There we go. And that takes us to that. I think that actually means quite a lot to me, actually. It's very visual. Should we put them both together? Right, so that's the plantar view done of both feet. So what I'm just going to do is do a quick review. So some of these colours have worked better than others, but we get the general idea. It's really a good, helpful tool to really focus in on some of these areas. And as I said, if you've got a reference point that you're using to have to one side, and that's really helpful. So we've got the brain here, we've got the side of the neck, we've got the eyes and the ears there, we've got the sinuses. Actually, they've faded already. I think some of the colour's gone in, but we did put the sinuses in there. We've got the shoulder area here with the armpit at the bottom. We've got the stomach here. We've got the spleen, the transverse colon, descending colon, sigmoid colon. We've got the pelvis in that green colour there. We've got the sciatic nerve, the buttock part of the pelvis there. We've got the rectum and bladder here, the ureter tubes, the kidney, the pancreas. We've got the, oh, that is the stomach, we've already covered that. We've got the adrenals at the top there. We've got the solar plexus here. Solar plexus. We've got the liver here. We've got the diaphragm line. We've got the heart, the thymus, and actually the vertebrae, which you can't see clearly. You can see it more on the other foot, the spine going all the way along there. The neck and thyroid, the throat, the nose, the pituitary and hypothalamus again. That takes us back to the beginning. And just to review this side as well. Thank you. We've got the brain, we've got the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, the nose, the throat, the neck and thyroid, the spine going all the way down. We've got the lungs here, the thymus, the diaphragm, the adrenal glands, the kidney, pancreas, the ureter tube going down, the bladder and rectum here. We've got the pelvis, or the buttock area of the pelvis first, the sciatic nerve there, the rest of the pelvis here. We've got the ascending colon there. We've got the small intestines, the transverse colon. We've got the gallbladder here and the liver in the background there. We've got the diaphragm line, the lung area, that large area of the lungs, the shoulders, the sinuses going all in there. I've forgotten to colour in the side of the neck. We did have it on the other foot, but yeah, the side of the neck, the side of the toes here should have been coloured in. That's the side of the neck, and sinuses we've done. The ear, the eye, and the last of the brain areas takes us back to the beginning. So I think that gives us a very clear idea of how to really focus on these reflex points on the plantar views of the feet. And I hope that's been really helpful.